Hi, welcome to Oracle ADF training. This is Sudhakar. In this session, we are going to discuss about ADF managed bean. A bean is nothing but a Java class, and the Java class becomes a bean when it satisfies three conditions. The first condition is it should have a no arg constructor, and the second one it should be serializable, and the third the properties should be exposed as a getter and setter methods. So that's how a Java class, normal Java class becomes a bean. In case of ADF managed bean, the bean is controlled by the JSF container. In other words, it is nothing but it is actually managed by the JSF container. That's why it is called a managed bean. So we'll go through one simple example to understand how the managed bean is used in Oracle ADF. For that, I'll create one new application, ADF Fusion web application. I'll say this as ADF managed bean. Okay, now let us go to this the view controller and create one normal page. We'll use the responsive template, ADF managed bean demo.jsf. Okay, I'll go to the source view. Let us add two properties. We'll add two input text. In the center panel, we'll call the first one as first name, and the second input text as the last name. We will surround these two columns with the panel form layout. The panel form layout comes with a footer. Inside the footer, we'll add one button. We'll call this as submit. Okay, so first and foremost thing, the first name and last name, we will bind it with the managed bean property for the value. So here if you see the expression builder, it's a ADF managed bean we have to create. Now if you want to do the other way, for example, when you go to the submit and then in the action, if you want to add a managed bean, you can add as, so we'll call this as ADF managed bean. By default, it is in the request scope. It'll have session scope, application scope, backing bean scope, view scope, page flow scope, all those things. The scope defines the memory scope and how long it will stay in the memory. In the subsequent sessions, we will have a dedicated session towards the understanding the scope. For now, we will keep that as it is and then create, and the method is going to be submit. So when you click on the button, it is going to call this method in the managed bean. Now it has created a managed bean. You can see the bean symbol here. If I open the managed bean, I can see that it is having a method called submit, and it has a no arg constructor as I told you before. And let us expose some of the properties like the first name, the value of the first name to this bean. In the ADF managed bean, we will create a property called first name. Okay, and bind it to this one, and the next one we will bind it to last name. click OK. Okay, so now if you see, the managed bean has two properties, first name and last name. Whatever we enter in these fields will go into this first name and last name. Now if you want to get those properties here, say for example, I want to print what is the value being entered into the first name. So I'll say first name, say this dot get first name. Same way we'll print the last name as well, last name, and this is going to be get last name. Now let us look at run the page. Okay, we'll enter the values, then click on submit. Now if you go back, you see the first name, whatever I entered in the first name field has come here, and the last name is the one which is being printed.